Hello, Redlationship fam! How was your day? I'm Frank, and I'm turning up the volume because today's Reddit stories are absolute bangers that you need to hear. Tune in by hitting subscribe and smashing that like button. Let's blast the story! Okay, so today's story comes from one of our familiar subreddits, and it's the Am I the Asshole subreddit. The title is, Am I the Asshole Here? For initiating a divorce while my wife is in the hospital after a car accident. Before we get into the main story, just a quick heads up, this post does include some content related to death. Feel free to skip if you're not comfortable, and the timestamps are always in the description. Thank you. My wife had 2 kids before we got married, and they have an actively involved father. We have had 2 children of our own. My wife is a terrible driver, but she refuses to acknowledge this. She has been in multiple accidents and even had her license suspended. Not for a DUI or anything, just because she is a shitty driver. She will do stuff like reach into the back seat to deal with a kid rather than either pull over or let me or one of the older kids deal with it. She got T-boned in August last year because she took her foot off the brake at a red light to pick up my son's soother that had fallen out. She didn't put the car in park. Thankfully, only she was injured. All 4 kids were in the car. I have had it. I told her that she is welcome to endanger herself and her kids, but that if I am in the car or if our children are in the car, she will keep her eyes on the road and her hands on the steering wheel. She is finally at the point in her rehab where she can drive again. I reminded her of what I said. I told her that I loved her. I said that her older kids were important to me and that I loved them too. But I told her that if she ever decided to do stupid shit while driving, our relationship would be over and I would make it part of our divorce that she not be allowed to drive with my kids in the car. She started crying and said she didn't do it on purpose. I asked her how exactly she took her hands off the wheel, took off her seatbelt, took her foot off the brake, and turned around to pick up the soother by accident. She said that I'm treating her like an idiot. I don't think I am. My children have to be safe. Before you ask, I try and do as much of the driving as I possibly can. I have stopped drinking when we go out. I traded in my car that I loved for an SUV, so there is room for all of us. I offered to pay for Uber, so she didn't have to drive if I wasn't available. She actually likes driving. Her ex and her parents are on my side. He also told her that if she ever thinks about endangering his kids, he would either go for full custody or ask that she be barred from driving with his kids in the car. Her parents have threatened to stop helping her pay her stupid high insurance premiums. She thinks we are being unfair because she loves her kids and would never intentionally harm them. She just loses concentration when one of the kids needs something and doesn't think to ask for help. Oh, this whole thing with the wife just boils my blood. I honestly don't get how she can feel like she's the one being treated unfairly. She's consistently refused to put the car in park while dealing with the kids. She even caused a wreck once because she let her foot off the brake at a red light with 4 kids in the back. That is reckless. By the way, OP is doing the right thing. He's not the bad guy for wanting a divorce or trying to keep her away from the steering wheel. He's just being a father. He knows that staying with her is a ticking time bomb for those kids, and he's doing whatever it takes to protect them. Now, she claims she'd never purposely hurt them, that she just gets distracted when the kids need something. But here's the kicker. She refuses to ask for help, yet she insists on being the one to drive. I want to feel for her. Maybe she's just overwhelmed as a mom. But she's being stubborn. She's playing the victim instead of actually fixing the problem. That's just unacceptable. A commenter says, well, what exactly did she expect? She is honestly behaving like a total fool. Her intentions, whether she means to do it or not, are not relevant here. She shouldn't be driving at all since she is putting everyone at risk. But clearly, she should not drive the children. That is the absolute minimum you can demand. And another reply. There comes a point where intentionality as a concept sort of breaks down. Maybe she's having the subjective experience of not feeling like she's doing it on purpose. I don't know. But she's been presented with such an overwhelming amount of evidence and testimony from her own family that her actions are endangering herself and her kids, that any reasonable person would have gotten the message. If she doesn't believe it, that's on her. In a way, it's actually worse. If a person is so deeply delusional that this degree of evidence is available and she still doesn't feel at fault, she's just straight up dangerous, and probably in way more scenarios than just this one. How far gone do you have to be to not see that your actions are causing this? What else in your life are you this delusional about? The other says, not the asshole. She's one of those people who shouldn't be driving. She's endangering her life, her kids, and everyone else. I'm in the camp that if two exes agree on something, then you might want to listen and take heed. The other expresses that you're treating her like she's a fool because, well, hear me out here. She's an idiot. What mature, responsible adult pulls that kind of nonsense while driving? If losing her license and being in multiple accidents wasn't enough to show her she has a serious problem, I doubt your threat will either. Every time she does one of those reckless actions, she's essentially choosing to harm her kids, or at least potentially harming them. She could have fixed this a long time ago. She's just too stubborn and in denial to do anything about it. You and her ex should both put your foot down. No more driving unless she is the only person in the car. Period. No exceptions. Any breach of that agreement should be grounds for leaving. By giving her more chances, you're just continuing to endanger your kids. Not the asshole, but please do not let this slide. Nearly 2 months later, OP came back with a very short update. The title is AITA for initiating a divorce while my wife is in the hospital after a car accident. And it says, my wife was involved in a single vehicle accident. She was seriously injured, but thank goodness no one else was in the car with her. I have spoke to her about her driving habits, and I warned her. I went to see her in the hospital, and then I went to a lawyer. I am also going for full custody with only supervised visitation for her. I am sick to death of her driving habits, and I will not wait for her to injure or kill one of our kids with her bullshit. I feel bad for doing this while she is in the hospital and facing charges. But I can't take any more chances on her. We all saw this coming. It was written on the wall. I'm not even surprised that she got into another accident. I mean, from the previous post, she's already been in and out of the hospital multiple times and even got her license taken away. But clearly, she hasn't learned a single thing. I know you're feeling a lot of guilt right now, thinking about a divorce while things are this bad. But listen to me carefully. You have to protect yourself and your kids. Period. That's your #1 priority, no matter what. This is the final update from OP after 6 months. The title is, I feel terrible making this post about my ex-wife's driving. And it says, I don't know how to link to my old posts, so I will just summarize. My ex-wife likely had ADHD or something similar. She would be driving and suddenly decide to look in the back seat or on the floor instead of pulling over. She was badly injured once when she took off her seatbelt at a red light to grab a pacifier my kid had lost rather than parking. I told her then that if she did it again, I was going to divorce her and take full custody. She was in physical rehab for a while, but then she drove her car into a canal because she didn't put it in park while reaching for paperwork in the back seat. After that, I was done. I knew she was eventually going to get my kids injured or worse. Both I and her first ex-husband went for full custody. And part of my divorce settlement was that she was legally barred from driving my children anywhere. Our divorce was rough, and the truth is, I still loved her. I just couldn't risk my kids. She eventually got a dog. The dash cam her insurance forced her to get showed that the dog was making sick noises in the back seat. She turned around to see what the dog was doing, drifted into oncoming traffic, and was hit by a semi-truck. My kids lost their mom. Their older siblings lost their mom. I lost a co-parent I still cared about, and her parents lost a daughter. I feel awful, but a few of you asked for an update. I think I will be leaving this account behind forever now. I won't be replying to questions. I just felt like the people who helped me before might want closure. Oh man, what a heartbreaking end. I'm so sorry for OP and this huge loss his family is going through. I still want to say that no matter what, OP did the right thing by putting the safety of his kids first. I know this is going to take a long time to get over, but just remember that you still have a very important mission, and that's healing the souls of those children. Keep being a great father. It's definitely not easy being a single dad to 4 kids. I wish nothing but the best for you, OP. A commenter says, I'm sorry for your loss, but if you hadn't protected your kids, you might have lost them too. You did the right thing. Please remember that. Another says, my boyfriend had addictions that were severe, and I always knew what the end result was going to be. I felt intense pain, but over time, I actually felt a sense of relief. What I knew was coming finally arrived, and I simply had to move on and live with that reality. Your ex-wife had a deep problem, and most likely every adult around her knew how it would end and felt that same dread. The worst is now over, and she can no longer hurt other drivers with her irresponsibility. You are left picking up the pieces for yourself and your children. It is not easy, but it is more manageable because your life is now determined by your own actions and not hers. Best of luck to you. The other expresses that. OP, just wanted to let you know, this post is going to do someone some good. Someone is going to be more cautious, more wary, and more willing to put on the brakes or a car in park. And because of this post, someone is going to make it home alive that otherwise wouldn't have. That's why we share these things, and you have made a difference by sharing this. Thank you. A person also says, I remember your original post and your update. I'll admit, I thought of your wife just the other day when I almost got T-boned going through an intersection. Someone decided red lights were just for the weak, I guess. Fortunately, an accident was avoided. I am so unimaginably sorry for you, your kids, your stepkids, your ex-wife's parents, and her first ex-husband. Thank God you and her ex both went for full custody and protected your kids from their mother's horrible driving. I can't begin to imagine what you are all going through, especially during the holidays. Please, please know that you did the right thing. Clearly, no one was able to save your ex-wife since she was unwilling to admit that she was a dangerous driver who couldn't be trusted behind the wheel. You did the painful but responsible thing, and you kept your children safe. My deepest condolences to all of you. I'll be keeping your family in my prayers. So now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What would you do in that situation? If you were OP, did you do the same? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here today with Frank. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.